Hi guys, we're going to answer a 25 marker. Before I start, please, if this video is of any use to you, please like, share and subscribe, okay? This is a new channel and I'm trying to grow it. So if this is the kind of material you like, please like, share and subscribe, okay? So let's get on with this. Answering a 25 marker. Now I wanted to make an assumption here. Let's just assume this has just happened. Brexit has just happened 3 months ago, and we're now answering the 25 marker. Okay, how to answer this kind of question. Okay, so the question is: following the Brexit vote, the value of the pound fell drastically. How might this affect the international competitiveness of the UK? 25 marks. Please go over my other videos on knowledge, application, and everything else if you don't know how to answer this question. But I'm going to assume you know all this and I'm going to go straight into it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is obviously you want to start with knowledge. Okay, so let's start. International competitiveness is the ability of a nation to successfully compete overseas. As a result, maintain their living standards in the country and potentially exceed it. There are two main types of competitiveness: price competitiveness and non-price competitiveness. Now I've given examples: China and India, Germany and Switzerland, good examples of non-price competitive nations. Okay, so you're showing knowledge. You're showing that you actually showing the examiner you understand what you're talking about. The case study refers to pounds falling drastically as a result of Brexit. What does that mean? This means that pounds have substantially depreciated. Look at that key word there, depreciation. You will score some knowledge marks for that, at least one knowledge mark for that. Okay. In other words, pounds has fallen substantially against other currencies. Okay, you're showing the examiner you understand what you're talking about. That is what knowledge is, not just definitions. Okay, so you're going to go straight into the analysis now. So, one effect of this fall in pounds is that, in theory, what happens? UK exports will be far cheaper, and as a result, it can lead to an improvement in international competitiveness. Can you see what I've done, guys? I've not talked about it's going to lead to an improvement in the balance of payments. Yes, it might, but the question is about competitiveness. So, I'm linking it to competitiveness. Okay, it can lead to an improvement in international competitiveness. Okay, because depreciation makes exports more attractive to purchase. Okay, in theory, UK exports would be much more desirable. In theory, okay, much more desirable. As a result, countries will purchase more of UK exports. This potentially could make the UK much more price competitive. Okay, so I've gone down the route of cheaper exports and I've explained clearly. Okay, that's my analysis. That's one analysis point. Now I need to evaluate that point. But what I've done here is show the diagram. Okay, I've shown a diagram. This increased demand for exports could be shown in my analysis diagram below. Okay, all other components remaining constant. Okay, all other components remaining constant. Exports increase. AD should shift to the right as well, which you can see here. AD will shift to the right. Output also will increase from Y to Y1. Obviously, you need to label this and put price level, label this diagram properly, okay? You should have a diagram in 25 marker, okay? So that's a simple diagram you can draw. So after you've done that, now you now need to evaluate. On the other hand, the price of imports will drastically increase. As exports are cheaper, imports will be more expensive. As UK is a net importer of oil, as well as importing a number of raw materials, the cost of production for UK firms, in all probability, will sharply rise. This will impact on firms' output. This may impact on prices, as cost push inflation is likely to occur, therefore reducing international competitiveness. Now I'm arguing. On one hand, competitiveness should increase. On the other hand, well, maybe not, because now the price of UK's in terms of producing goods and services, it'll be much more expensive. Therefore, we may not be as competitive. That may make us not competitive. Okay, so you can see how I've counterbalanced the point. Now, the next point is my second point. Make it clear to the examiner you're now on your second analysis point. My second point is the UK will no longer be in the common external tariff as they have left the EU trading bloc. Can you see how I'm linking different areas in economics? Okay, really important, linking different areas. This means that UK will be able to freely trade with countries around the world. With the drastic depreciation of the British pound, UK exports become a lot cheaper around the world. This potentially makes the UK more price competitive. Okay, so I'm linking it back to price competitive. Again, I'm not going into politics. I'm speaking about Brexit, but I'm using key economic terms. Okay, key economic terms. So now I need to evaluate that. Okay, so in terms of evaluation, in spite of UK not being bound to the constraints of the common external tariff in the EU trading bloc, okay, I'm making my assumption that you understand all that. I say you need to go back and revise, make sure you understand all this. International competitiveness may still not improve. This is because it may take several years to set up productive trade agreements with countries, and in the meantime, skilled EU workers may seek to leave the UK. And as a result, they may slow down the UK productivity, which will reduce competitiveness. An example of this, very good example, was when EU lorry drivers shortly after Brexit, they left after Brexit, and then it was a big problem. Didn't have enough EU lorry drivers. They shortly left after Brexit. Okay, so that reduced productivity. In addition, pound sterling may would almost certainly bounce back and appreciate. Okay, remember we're talking about a time lag situation here. We're part of a floating exchange rate. So if it bounces back and appreciates, which obviously is already done, but we're assuming we answered this question 2 months after Brexit. We didn't know that, but now it's obviously it will bounce back. It will make UK exports less price competitive around the world. Okay, so you make a point, you evaluate it. Okay, now now onto my judgment. This is a very key area in economics. Okay, it's part of your evaluation. Overall, one can argue that other factors are more crucial to the UK improving international competitiveness than the exchange rate. Remember, the question was all about the exchange rate. My argument is, hold on a minute, there are other factors that are probably more crucial in the UK improving international competitiveness than the exchange rate. For example, labour unit costs are a problem for the UK. With workers' rights and the minimum wage, this keeps unit labour costs very high in comparison to India and China. As a result, it's challenging for the UK to become price competitive. I'm going to get top marks for this, guys, because I'm thinking, well, hold on, exchange rate is important, but there might be other factors that are more important, such as unit labor cost, okay? Focus needs to be on output, improving productivity, maybe focusing on providing, I'm trying to give solutions here. Generous subsidies in key areas for key personnel may over time improve competitiveness. So I'm now trying to give a solution, okay? Maybe providing subsidies in key areas for key personnel over time may improve price competitiveness, okay? So I'm now trying to give a solution to the problem, okay? And I'm now using evidence. Evidence suggests that the UK relies more on services. 70.9%, again, given stats. It's very good to know some stats, okay? But make sure the stats are accurate. Of export revenue are from services, financial services, tourism, etc. These services are essentially non-price competitive. They're essentially non-price competitive. So maybe focusing on more innovation in the service industry could even make us more non-price competitive, although there's an opportunity cost doing that. Okay, increased innovation often leads to increased unemployment. However, that might be a price the UK is willing to pay in order to become internationally competitive. That's how you do a judgment, guys. Okay, so hopefully this has helped you. I know it's quite detailed, but this is how you score very high marks in 25 markers. Okay, so please like, subscribe, and I should do a few more if that's what you want me to do. Thank you. Bye bye.